Hi guys and welcome back to Joy and Sam. In this week's video we'll be doing round 23 footy tips, so without any further ado let's just get started.
As I said before, this is the last round of the home and away season, and there's a lot to play for a lot of clubs, so positions and all. So we'll start off with one of the bigger ones in Brisbane versus Melbourne. This is good shape top four. It's at the Brisbane Melbourne game's at the Gabba. I'm probably going to tip Brisbane only because it's at the Gabba, but other than that, I think it could be a close game.
First game of the round is Brisbane versus Melbourne. This one was a really hard one to tip, but I chose to tip Brisbane because the game is played at the Gabba.
Another one that could shape top four is GWS versus Fremantle. I think it's obvious that Fremantle will win, but I think they'll need to win by a bit to try and make a top four, so that's up for them, I guess.
The next game of the round is GWS versus Fremantle. I thought this one was sort of easier to tip. I tip Fremantle.
Next is probably one of the more irrelevant, well, not irrelevant, but less impactful games for this year is North Melbourne versus Gold Coast. I'm probably going to tip Gold Coast, even though they've been poor for the last couple of weeks, but I just think Gold Coast will beat them.
The next game of the round is North of Melbourne versus Gold Coast. I found this one easy to tip as well. I tip Gold Coast.
With the minor premiership already wrapped up, this game doesn't really affect either team. Well, I mean, West Coast might be able to get wooden spoon, but I don't know. Geelong versus West Coast at GMHBA. I don't think Geelong lose this. I think they win this probably by 100 points. So, lovely.
Next game of the round is Geelong versus West Coast. This was an easy one as well. I tipped Geelong.
Next one is Essendon Richmond. This is to secure Richmond a top 8 spot. I think they get the job done. So I'll tip
The next
Richmond.
game of the round is Essendon versus Richmond. I found this one an easy one to tip again as well. I tip Richmond.
Next is the biggest game of the round. We have the showdown with Port versus the Crows. I think showdowns are always close, especially like the one start of the year. But I think Port Adelaide are on top of the world after beating Essendon. The Crows have beaten West Coast, Carlton and North in the last 3 weeks. So it shapes up to be good, but I think Port will get the job done by about 25 points.
The next game of the round is Port Adelaide versus Adelaide. This one is a hard one to tip, but I chose to tip Port Adelaide because it's one of their home fans, and I think that's really important in a showdown, so that's why I tip Port Adelaide.
Next, we have Hawthorn, Western Bulldogs. I think if Western Bulldogs win this, I think they have a chance to make the 8. I'm going to tip Western Bulldogs, even though it's in Tasmania.
The next game of the round is Hawthorn versus Western Bulldogs. Western Bulldogs need to win this game to make sure they stay in the 8, and I'm tipping the Western Bulldogs.
Next, we have one of the bigger games to shape both top 8 and top 4. Carlton lose this, they probably fall out the 8 to Western Bulldogs. Collingwood win this, they keep top 4 alive, I guess. So I'm gonna tip Collingwood, but I think both teams are fighting for it, so I think it will go down to the wire. To Carlton to make their first final series in a while, and Collingwood to make top 4 after becoming 17th or bottom 4 last year. So, yeah.
This is another big game. It's Carlton versus Collingwood. I tipped Carlton because Collingwood lost last week.
Last game of the round, again, kind of impactful, but I don't think Sydney can actually drop down too many spots. So, Sydney versus St Kilda, Marvel Stadium. I tipped Sydney to win that, but yeah, I don't think St Kilda will win.
And the last game of the round is St Kilda versus Sydney. I tipped Sydney, but St Kilda could win too.
Thank you guys for watching, and remember to like, comment and subscribe. And we'll see you next week or the week after with finals tips. So, yeah, thank you.